Hi, welcome. So in the last video, we looked at some basic operations in Pandas. And in this video, we are going to look at some of the ways you can deal with missing values in Pandas. Remember, handling missing values is a very big topic and there are lots of things you can do with missing values. But then we are just going to show you a couple of things that Pandas can do with missing values. So let's just go straight to the computer and look at missing values with Pandas. So here we have these data sets here. We are going to use them in this video. And this folder is where I'm going to launch Jupyter Notebook. So I showed you how to do that in the last video. And let's just do it. So I'm just first going to copy this address here. Then I'm going to launch the Anaconda prompt. And then when the Anaconda prompt is ready, I'll do a cd space Control V. I paste that path. So now I'm inside that folder. And from this folder now, I can launch my Jupyter Notebook here, press enter, and then it's going to open up the Jupyter Notebook in that folder. So I'll be able to see these two data sets that I need. So now I can just create a new notebook, and then from there I start importing my pandas. So I can just call this, let's just give this a title. I'm just going to click out here, press M, so markdown, and then I can just give it a title, say missing data. Let's just call it missing data. Then we go here. So I can now import pandas as PD. Yeah, so we import pandas as PDF. This is what you see in most codes. So you just go to maintain it like that. And then now we are going to move on to df equals to pd dot read. So I want to bring in the first data set which has missing values so that we can see how we can handle those missing values. So I'm just going to go to data.csv. So this is actually this first one here, store underscore data.csv. So let us just type a df here and then we see. So this is the data set that I have brought in. So now we can decide now to want to fill the missing values. So remember we did something like a setting index. So let's just refresh ourselves here. So you can do a df.set index, set underscore index. So I just want to set this to day, and then I want to say in place equals to true, so that, as we saw in the last video, it will affect the original data frame. So it's okay. So we have now day as index here. So now we can now just say, okay, what if we want to fill all missing values with maybe a 0? So these are your missing values. As you can see, NaN, they are your missing values. You can use the fill Na. So let me just type it here just for you to recall. So there's a fill Na, and then you can decide to say a new df equals to the original df dot fill na, and then you put 0. So now let's just call this new df. When we run this now, we would have all places where there's NaN to be 0 here. So we can also do this. We can decide to fill this like per column. So we give each column what we want the missing value to be filled with. So let me just show you new df equal to df dot fill na, and then now we decide to pass in this dictionary. So we have visitors here, and then the visitors, we are going to say the first column of visitors should have a 0, and then we can say the second column, which is unit soul should have instead a 0, and then we have now the third column, which is sex, should have maybe non-provided. So these are just options that we can use to be able to decide that this missing value in this column takes this value, while this missing value in the other column takes this value. So you can do that. You have the possibility to do that. So new df, and if we run it now, we see that the missing values here now, the one of sex has the non-provided, while the other ones now that were here, they have the 0 that have been filled here. So fill any gives you that possibility to do that. Another one you can look at is the drop any. So drop any, let me just comment this, let me just write it here so you see it. So drop any, and you can also use it to drop missing values. Remember, we say you must not always drop missing values, but then if it's the case, you can drop this with this method. So drop any, and then now you can just get, for example, a new df, and then you are going to see what it has done. So let's print this. You see that all the missing values have been dropped. It just drops everything that has a missing value here. It drops every line. So as you can see here, everything has been dropped like missing values. So there are times when you might want to get a threshold. So you can just say, for example, I want a threshold of 1. So if I go to threshold, equal to 1, then now I press maybe enter here. So it takes off just like these lines that have missing values completely, like this one, for example, this one. But then if I say the threshold is maybe 2, for example, so if I put the threshold to be 2, then it takes off, you see, it takes off the other ones, and then it leaves this one that has one missing value here. So this is what drop any could possibly do for you, especially when you add the threshold there. So another thing that you could use is the replace. So for the replace here, you can also get you can replace some missing values. And for this case, I'm just going to import numpy, because numpy helps you with any n values which are missing values. So I'm going to import numpy to be able to assist here. And then now the first thing is just to create a data frame, and then you say pd.read underscore csv. Now we bring in the second database here, which is this store data 2.csv. So I can just type it here, and then I'm going to say store underscore data 2, so that we get the exact spelling as it is. Then we get .csv here. So if I print my df here and then I press enter, now I get this data is in here. So now we want to be able to replace it and replace some of this data that is 111 with NaN, because we know that these were supposed to be NaN, but in reality they have put them like maybe 111. So this is where the .replace can help us in reality. So df2 equal to df.replace. Now we are going to do a df.replace, and then we type 11111. I hope we type the number of ones. I think they have 6 times. So we get value now equals to np.nan. So we specify that this is the NaN value, and now we bring it from numpy. So numpy is going to bring us the officially recognized missing values in Python. So now we have this NaN, and we can do anything that we want and call a method that affects NaN, and this will be officially recognized like normal missing values. So now this is what we've done here with the replace. And then we can also be able to use like this kind of a dictionary here for the replace still. So if I place, copy and paste that, and then I go to df replace now instead, so I change that to replace. I can decide to replace the visitors, the 1 2 3 4 5 6. I know that should be 6 times. Then 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then the sex also, I know that the what is there is 0. So as I can see here is the 0 here, so 0 here. So I can decide to replace that, and then I say replace it with np.nan. So this should be np.nan, and then when I run it now, you see that the NaNs have been replaced here, and the NaNs have been replaced here as well. So we are able to use this to replace per column NaNs. So I hope you have been able to learn how to replace missing values. There's more behind it, but this is just to give you an idea of how to replace missing values using Pandas. So see you next video. Wish you good data luck.